Hi, the 7-2 Daystar. I spent way too much time this past week trying to get a simple answer from a couple of Christians, but I guess I can kind of understand why they couldn't answer. I got kind of an answer. I'll give you a summary of what I got the answer to this question. The question is, could the Bible be less ambiguous about slavery? That is the ethical dimension of slavery. Because it seems to, I know some atheists sort of, I think, overstated a little bit in saying that God endorses slavery. I think that's a tad strong, but it seems like it's just a taken for granted that slavery exists in this society. And there are a few laws that you could cite in the Old Testament about slavery that just seems to, like, it's a taken for granted that occurs. And there are some limits put on it. You couldn't just outright kill your slave, but in Exodus 21, 20, and 21, you could, if you beat the slave and it died 1 or 2 days later, you'd be off the hook, because after all, it's your property. I'd say that's, I think I'd be understating it to say that seems to be rather ambiguous about the morality of slavery. And obviously, it's had a huge impact. You think we have had roughly 3,000 years in the Judeo-Christian tradition of having slavery, and often rationalized. If you look in the Matthew Henry, what's the other one, Wesley, these old commentaries from like the 17th or 18th century, and they cite this and say, yeah, well, yeah, it's just like we have in in America. That's the same, and so they're obviously drawing on that as a rationalization for permitting slavery in their societies. So it really does have a huge impact, and I think a huge moral significance. But of course, the Christians just couldn't answer this. The answer I got was something like, well, I think this would be a fair paraphrase. The Bible's mysterious, but if you're sincere, prayerful, and study a lot, you can find out that actually the Bible would say that slavery is wrong if you have a sort of a comprehensive reading. Unfortunately, that's just one person, and we have all this expanse of history where slavery has been permitted in the Western world, often citing the Bible. I wasn't entirely satisfied with that, because that sort of methodology is employed broadly, and nonetheless we have 3,000 different denominations in the U.S., perhaps in the world as many as 10,000, and if you go back in history, even more than that. And that says to me that I would tend to think that all of those people probably were sincere and probably prayed about it, and nonetheless they came up with these thousands of different formal opinions and positions on the Bible, not to mention the millions of different people who had a slightly different take even within those denominations. So I really just can't reconcile that. So could it be less ambiguous? Would it be? To me, it would be as easy as saying, slavery is wrong and we ought not do it. That would be certainly less ambiguous, wouldn't it? So either address the question, could it be less ambiguous? Or if you're not going to address that, then why be so mysterious about these important moral issues? When he does have clear, unambiguous pronouncements about wearing clothes of mixed fabrics or avoiding eating shellfish, why couldn't he have just said, shouldn't own people, and saved all of that misery? If anyone could contend with that, I'd really appreciate it. 7-2 Daystar, out.